To quote Jim Ross, are you ready to get into some cowboy shiznit? Jim Ross is saying shiznit at 69 years old. Nice. I'm Joe Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite, Saturday Night Dynamite Edition, WCW Saturday Night 2021, making its one night only return. Hooray! And they are back on Wednesday, starting June 30th to finish off their 14-month run in Daly's Place. They go back out on the road to Miami, a couple shots in Texas, North Carolina, Pittsburgh, running Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. It's going to be really interesting to see how they draw these crowds once they get out of Daly's Place. It'll just be really nice for them to be back out on the road and hopefully doing shows better than this one, because it's a real shame. There was some good in-ring action and shenanigans on top of run-ins, on top of shenanigans, on top of run-ins, all human centipede together. My God, it was like the last 2 years of WCW on the Herb Abrams diet, which Tony Khan knows all about. It's a real shame because there were good elements on this show, but this show was also messy. Now, I will say it was better than the taped editions that they did the last couple weeks, but that's not saying much because those editions were kind of absolutely shit, despite the efforts of the talents. So Marvez is outside, seeing Sammy arrive, and Sammy's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take down the Pinnacle, all this stuff. And then MJF hits him with a chair, and MJF can make just about anything work, and he made a couple things work a little bit later, but MJF picking on Sammy, that was some good stuff. They've had a nice back and forth, sharing embarrassing pictures and stuff like that on social media. Pretty good stuff. And then, yes, JR says, are you ready to get into some cowboy shiznit? I don't know why that made me like... I need a couple minutes to process that before I was like, did he really goddamn say that? But, that was the high point of JR's commentary. We have Adam Hangman Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs, Willie Hobbs. Taz on commentary, by the way, cowboy shit chants. Now, I will say that Daly's Place didn't seem full, but it did seem loud, at least with the crowd that was there. That was nice. Hobbs uses power, and Page, even though he is strong, had to use more speed. Though, at one point, they're both outside the ring, and JR says, you don't want one of those kiss your sister finishes, a double countout. Okay, what? What the actual shit? Anyway, not what the actual cowboy shit, just what the actual shit. Anyway, we get Page hitting the post, and Page at one point gets the back of his head busted open. Holy shit, he was bleeding quite a bit. At one point, Hobbs missed a diving headbutt, and then we get a big lariat from Page for 2, and we get a lot of good power moves from Powerhouse Hobbs, which makes sense. It would be weird if he didn't have a lot of power, considering his name is Powerhouse Hobbs. So, this is a good back and forth match. Actually, it's a good way to kick it off. And then, of course, no, they have to have shenanigans and run-ins and stuff to, one, take away from the match, and also just the fact that they have to remind us, oh yeah, these people are all together and are all feuding and all this kind of stuff, and busy. That way they won't recognize that we don't know how to format a show, because Tony Khan doesn't know how to format a goddamn show. It's a real shame. WWE has a lot of problems. Boy, do they ever. AEW, for all its faults, it's never necessarily boring, but it also gets to the point where it all kind of blends together, because very few things can stand out when you have so many run-ins and shenanigans and all this bullshit that it just gets to where you're just numb to it, or at least I'm numb to it. Starks and Hook come out, and then Cage stops them. I guess Cage is out of Team Taz all of a sudden. And Starks is selling his neck and stuff like, no, you can't hit me, I have a bad neck. And then a big spine buster from Hobbs. I'm like, holy shit, he's going to get the victory. Nope. Deadeye, very impressive strength from Adam Hangman Page, or Hangman Page, as JR says. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Hooray! Page gets the victory. And then we get a video package on Jungle Boy and Omega. And... well, they said that the last time the Dynamite was on Saturday, Brody Lee won the TNT Championship. It's a nice way to explain the history of AEW on TNT, and on Saturday specifically. So, but you know what? It was kind of nice because I actually forgot that was on Saturday. I thought for some reason it was on Wednesday. So anyway, we then get the Bucks and Cutler in that, dashing Cody Rhodes face mask. And is he actually injured, or is he just wearing that for fun? Like, genuine question. I mean, I hope he's not injured, but it's just a bit weird. So the Bucks say, well, we're not overrated. I mean, to me and some fans, you kind of are. Now, you guys don't have to think the Bucks are overrated. The Bucks have had really good matches, but to me, they're mostly video game wrestlers. And they think they're way better than they actually are, because if their matches didn't devolve into just a bunch of video game bullshit, I might actually care more about what they do. They've had some standout stuff that I have praised in the past. And going through all the teams that they beat, and that they're going to beat Kingston and Penta. And we are EVPs, extremely violent people. Yes, with hair dye leaking down like Rudy Giuliani. Kind of makes sense, given who the Bucks support, and who a lot of the elites support, because they're all a bunch of Trump suckers and a bunch of idiots. So anyway, I wonder if they recorded, certain things that were going on at Raleigh, because, we can't just get away from the fact that this country should be moving forward and not backwards. Okay, off my soapbox. So Shivani interviews Tully and Conan. And they went back and forth. My God, they went back and forth like they've been feuding for years. They had one altercation in Stadium Stampede 2, Electric Boogaloo, that bar scene where Conan was a DJ and stuff like that, and it made absolutely no sense. Yes, this was to tie the fact that Conan had managed Santana and Ortiz before, and totally managed FTR, and talking about their upbringing and everything. And it's just, I kept thinking of Grandpa Simpson dressed up like a war general. It's like one trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere. I tie an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time. And also, look everybody, an old man's talking. Two old men actually. And here's the thing, I didn't mind, I like Conan as a wrestler, and he certainly does keep it real on his podcast. And I like Tully as a talker, and he was a hell of a talent in one of my favorite matches of all time against Magnum TA at Starrcade 1985. But they treated this like a blood feud. Who was this for? Why was this happening in 2021? This just literally came out of nowhere. And Tully was trying his best. I did like one line that Conan had about Tessa, the racist Blanchard, at least the more blatantly racist Blanchard, if you'll see what I did there. You will need to learn Spanish to communicate with your future grandkids, because Tessa is either engaged or married to Daga, or whatever the hell his name is. Anyway, suddenly Santana and Ortiz show up. So after going back and forth, Santana and Ortiz show up. They're all hooded and everything, and they're standing with Conan. And then suddenly we see on the video screen that I'm sure the fans right on the stage couldn't goddamn see unless there was another screen. Like, hey, what the hell's going on here? We should crane our necks and see what's going on. Anyway, so, yeah. Santana and Ortiz are laid out. Oh, wait, who is it? It's FTR. And then they spike Conan, making him about 2.5 feet tall by the end of that. Okay. I don't know. Is this gonna... You can't get Conan back in the ring. Conan should not be wrestling. He's had his hip replacement, and he hasn't wrestled, I don't think, in a while. If he has, please let me know. I don't think he's actually taken any bumps lately, at least in the past number of years. I just don't... This was weird. This was just thrown at the goddamn wall to see what stuck. And then the announcers kill time, and it was like, oh my God, how could they do that to Conan? Well, I mean, Conan did kind of provoke them, to be fair, by coming out there and running down Tully Blanchard in a segment that was so bizarre and so weird. And then Vicky has killed Andrade's momentum. I'm not saying Andrade's completely dead, because he's really good in the ring, but Vicky paired with Andrade is a bad idea, because Vicky Guerrero in a wrestling company in 2021 is not needed. Quite frankly, Vicky Guerrero was never really needed in a wrestling company. But, after we lost Eddie, I guess we needed the lesser version, the drunk aunt at a wedding trying to act sexy. Gross. Looked like she was mauled by a cougar. Anyway, we get Matt Sydal with Mike Sydal versus Dante Martin. Okay, I can't necessarily say I was totally invested in this match, but at the same time, I recognize the talent. I like Matt Sydal. Got to meet him in an indie show about 1.5 years ago. Dante Martin, since his brother Darius went down with an ACL injury, has shined on Dark Elevation, and he is very good. He can do crisp stuff in the air, on the ground. He is very good. Despite being, I think, 20 years old, I think he's 20, maybe 21, he is really good. He has a bright future. Matt Sydal, very good as well. Has added a lot of groundwork to his arsenal. And Dante hits some really good stuff, including some beautiful, top rope maneuvers, beautiful flippy shit, and crisp and clean and everything, and then lightning spiral 1, 2, 3. So Matt got the victory. Not a bad match. This could have been a main event on Dark Elevation, but you know what? I'm glad these guys got a chance on Dynamite. I didn't care about the match, but I also recognize that there was talent involved. So then Jungle Boy gets interrupted by Christian. Hey, tonight's your night. I thought Christian was going to turn on Jungle Boy just to fuck with everything going on. And then we get Sterling and Jade talking about merch and knocking the fans buying the 2XL shirts. Okay. Anyway, this was fine. She is that bitch, by the way, in case you need to be reminded. I don't know if this pairing's going to work. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's certainly better than anything Vicky's been involved in. And Marvez interviews MJF. And then Wardlow and Spears are also there. Good thing the Spears didn't talk. MJF talks about what he did to Jericho, targeting his arm. And then beating up Malenko, who's been retired and who has bad heart and Parkinson's and stuff like that. And Malenko's definitely a pro, but I was a little bit leery seeing him take a bump like that. And then Proud Boys Jericho and Hager attempt a backstage insurrection, just like, when Jericho's wife and mother-in-law were taking pictures around the insurrection attempt. And no, I'm not going to forget that. Nobody should fucking forget that. There's having different views, and then there's people that blatantly try to overthrow the goddamn country. And if wrestlers are going to support that goddamn shit, I don't care what they did in their goddamn career. Chris Jericho can go straight to fucking hell. He can go straight to fucking hell on a goddamn crash pad. He'll land on a soft little crash pad, which I'm sure still hurt. It probably didn't hurt his pride because Jericho threw away his pride years ago by drinking it down, among a bunch of bottles of bubbly. That's pretty much all he can do now. And basically act like 1% of himself on his best day. Like, seriously. I've watched some stuff like from King of the Ring 2001 and the Raw right afterwards. And yeah, I recognize it's 20 years. Nobody's the same after 20 goddamn years. But good God, even Jericho in 2010, even Jericho in 2015 seemed like he was leagues better than Jericho now. Like, seriously, get proper conditioning or just don't fucking wrestle at all. But anyway, after attempting a backstage insurrection, as the Irvines are known to do, and yeah, I'm going to use their last name because, yeah, why the fuck not? Why not piss off more people? Proud Boy Hager, by the way, and his stupid, trash wife probably shouldn't, throw stones at anybody and probably should, be thankful that they're white and, be thankful that they, that they're in a country that seems to, support people, that seem to be on my particular skin tone, as ashamed as I am to admit it. Boy, this review's really goddamn fun. They go to the ring, and then they focus on Jericho's arm. They try to hit it with a chair. Here's Sammy Guevara, apparently just fine after that beating. And he gets a chair shot to Wardlow's head. Good God, that looked kind of brutal. And Sammy's going to be a huge babyface. They've hit the Sammy G spot. Have fun unseeing that. So they badly looped the audio, by the way. I don't know what the deal was. I thought this was a live show, but they looped some of Sammy's promo before he was done. What the fuck was that? Genuinely, what was that? Like, go back and watch that. It was badly looped audio. Was Miro wearing tights for that promo? Please tell me Miro was wearing tights. He thanked God for being, powerful and his wife being flexible. That was funny. And he's gonna knock out Brian Pillman Jr. We get Bear Bronson with Bear Boulder versus Ethan, Ego Ethan, and Scorpio Sky. So it's a one-on-one match, but there's guys in the corner, guys in the spotlight. I really hope that this means Bear Country is going to be teaming up again. Bronson's been doing fine, but I like Bear Country, and Bronson got some good power. Ethan is talented in the ring. I don't give a shit about his character. I don't care at all, because to me, he doesn't have a character. We get shenanigans, and at one point, by the way, Sky hit the barricade, with the back of his head. I hope he's all right. But we get shenanigans, and then Bear misses a senton later, and then we get more shenanigans. Because why the fuck not have more goddamn motherfucking shenanigans? Tony Khan, lay off the goddamn blow and actually, talk to people that know how to book a coherent show. Seriously, this is maddening. This is goddamn maddening. You don't need to repeat the same goddamn stuff. Anyway, we get a low blow, and then Eagles Edge, 1, 2, 3. Ethan, I'm not stupid. Yes, you are, because, to egg on the crowd. He knocks Darby. He says, I'm going to be the nail in your coffin. It's a coffin match. You can't say casket match. WWE apparently has a patent on that. But it's going to be a casket coffin match. Caspin. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to roll with that. Kofkit? Kofkit sounds like some kind of British clothing line. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be on July 7th. Okay? Along with the strap match, that's two matches I really don't care about. Sorry. AEW has some really good talent, and they've had some really good matches and some really good programs. And since that whole Winter is Coming event, I have taken the gloves off as far as how I've dealt with them. I have just said I'm not just going to, give them chance after chance after chance after chance when they've blown a lot of this shit. This is a badly formatted show. A very badly formatted wrestling show. WWE's got plenty of bad formatting issues. AEW has a chance to be an alternative, not just alternative bullshit. So, Britt and Reba knock Vicky, and Nyla, Britt saying that, she'll, there will be no hard feelings, when she beats up Vicky, haha. And then Vicky's going to be a bait and switch for Nyla to have a mystery partner, right? Please, don't put Vicky in the ring. When they put Vicky in the ring at Mania 26, made me wish that Eddie was still around and she wasn't. And I still wish that now. Statlander, Jesus Christ, Statlander's beautiful. With Orange Cassidy versus the Bunny with the blade and his flesh apron. And boy, the juiced up blade, if you know what I mean. So we were going to get a booped Bunny. And she nearly probed the Bunny, the alien did. I'm just going to say these jokes because this match, Allie looks good. Allie has, good antics. She actually has a good personality for wrestling. She's not that good in the ring. She's just not. She has reached the ceiling that she has. Statlander has power and has some ability, and it was two women. It was a Bunny and an alien or whatever. I usually have to go to a different kind of website to see that. Always delete your search history. And, well, get well, Trent, by the way, because Trent apparently had neck fusion surgery, so he's going to be out a while. So no wonder he hadn't wrestled for a bit. And he's going to be out at least, let's see, June. He's going to be out at least until, I would say, Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing next year. Because that's no joke. And I hope he's all right. I hope he's going to be all right. I hope he recovers 100%. And if it takes him longer, that's fine, as long as he has a good quality of life. So, yeah, this is a match that existed. It just was... Blade, of course, distracting everybody with his black flesh apron. There are medicines for that. And we get brass knucks in his pocket because the Bunny has used a hard fisting to put down every woman. Because anytime a woman fists another woman with metal on her hand, she's going to stay down or go down or get excited. I'm not here to judge much. And folded up Bunny. Man, I never thought I'd see an Amazonian alien Caucasian woman fold up a leather-clad, blonde Bunny on camera again. And then... wow, look, we get TH2 coming down attacking Orange Cassidy, and then we get the Blade brass knucking Orange Cassidy. Another aftermath. Hooray! So we then get Giovanni interviewing QT. Does anybody care? No. Nothing against QT as a person, but come on. Pillman Jr. says that he will fight for his friends, and he will beat Miro for the TNT Championship next week. And then Eddie and Penta and Alex are going to, attack the Bucks' ego for massive damage, but also they're going to beat them here and then earn a shot for the tag titles, which probably means they're not going to win next week, but it is what it is. Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus and, unfortunately, the Midget versus Omega with the Good Brothers, home of the Good Brothers. May we take your order. And then everybody's kicked out from ringside. Good. Get that stupid Midget out of here. Send him back to Munchkin Land. Get him out of the goddamn wrestling business. He doesn't fucking belong in a ring. So anyway, AEW World Title match. Callis joins commentary. The women still had to watch for Callis' invisible hands. I'm not going to forget that because Don Scarlet Fever Callis deserves every bit of ridicule and karma will bite him in his stupid ass. So anyway, Jungle Boy's family was there at ringside, and I'm sure his dad was watching from high above. The crowd was into it. They were. I'm not a big fan of Omega, and I liked some of this, but it's the usual Omega match. When he's not there with Okada or a few others that can make him better than he actually is, it looks like he's playing with children. Gee, Omega seems to know a lot about playing with children. You seen those videos, come up? That's some pretty sick shit. What the hell is going on in Japanese wrestling? I don't care if that was years ago. That's ridiculous. So anyway, it was the usual Omega stuff, but it's like there was some stuff that wasn't that bad. He was trying to do the Ultimate Warrior facials and do all weird stuff, but whatever. Jungle Boy hits a bunch of dives. And then the Poison Rana. Please stop with the Poison Rana. We get an elbow from behind for 2. Snare trap. Shenanigans and Kazarian and the Good Brothers. Home of the Good Brothers. May we take your order. Coming down, and then Luchasaurus and unfortunately the Midget were there, and the Midget wasn't launched off the stage. More in the pity. And they fight off. More shenanigans. My fucking God. Can Tony Khan just get his head out of the white cloud for just a second? Anyway. Angel, or One Wing Angel rather, countered into the snare trap. And then he hits the knee, hits the Tiger Driver 98. Then One Wing Angel 1, 2, 3. Okay, Jungle Boy looked like he could beat Omega, even though we knew he wouldn't. And then Christian comes in to run off Omega, who's about to hit him with the championship. And then, oh look, Matt Hardy and Private Party and the Bucks. Please, more fucking run-ins. Good God. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.